Yep. All right. Welcome to the Sharp Mind Show, episode 5-7. I'm Nate, the Fit Future MD, your host. Be sure to shop at InstaSell.com. Pick you up a cool, inspirational t shirt today. All right. So I got to talk about my beloved Carolina Panthers. Obviously, uh, it did not go the way we wanted it to go. Um, Yesterday versus the Buffalo Bills. Ended up getting blown out 40-9. Okay. Now, Andy Dalton, backup quarterback, 37 years old, 4 turnovers in this game, right? And that's really the difference in this ball game. It felt like every time we got a little bit of momentum, we would turn the ball over. Um, Obviously, the second and third quarter was where the Buffalo Bills really defeated us. James Cook the third went berserk running the football and apparently had the best half running the football ever, apparently. But 216 yards on 19 carries against us. And we're supposed to be a good team that stops the run, but the Buffalo Bills just had our number today as far as that goes. On our side, uh, we got 100 yards rushing, but um, really, I think it's very clear that the person that was good at running the football did not get the amount of carries that they really needed. Like you can't give somebody that just ran for 200 yards 2 games in a row only 8 carries, right? Like, um, just my opinion on that. Uh, Obviously, T Mac had a good game, 7 receptions, 99 yards. Obviously, didn't get in the end zone. Um, Hubbard was our only touchdown of the day. That came late in the fourth quarter. Um, like I say, if Bryce is going to continue to miss time, basically, if you come in as a backup quarterback, right? Love Andy Dalton. He's been with the team for a long time. Great backup quarterback. But you're coming in, you're playing a good team. Buffalo Bills are 5-2 now. You know, um, so you come in, you're playing a good team. You can't turn the ball over, right? Especially not with fumbles. Now I understand my man got sacked 7 times, and so 7 sacks you might lose one. I get it, but you can't be running down the field, uh, in the red zone 20-yard line and fumble in the first half. Can't do it. Ruin the drive, right? Obviously had 2 more fumbles after that. But so that's 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers that led to points. Um, so you just can't do it as a backup quarterback, right? You need to come in, be a game manager, right? If it meant that so say he dropped back 24 times or threw the ball 24 times, if he needed to get sacked 12 times instead of throwing those passes, or if he needed to, you know, scramble and slide at 5 yards instead of trying to get to 10, game manage, right? If you throw the ball away more, whatever you need to do, you got a good running game behind you, let the running game work, right? Um, Obviously, time of possession here went to the Buffalo Bills. They say you run for 245 yards. You're obviously, like Josh Allen only threw 19 times, right? He was also sacked a couple times, but I don't think the defense got any turnovers in this game. Um, I say Rosenboom had a lot of tackles, but um, nothing nothing really, impressive here. Definitely a sucky game to be a Panther. 'Cause, like I say, Rosenboom had a lot of tackles, but nothing really, nothing really impressive here. Definitely a sucky game to be a Panther. 'Cause, like I say, Rosenboom had a lot of tackles, but nothing really impressive here. Definitely a sucky game to be a Panther. Going forward, obviously, the Carolina Panthers have one of the toughest schedules out there left to go. We're sitting at 4-4 with an easy schedule. So that being said, uh, if we get to 500 this year, or a winning record this year, 9-8, it would be a definite blessing. Let me know what you guys think about the Carolina Panthers. What do you think about the Buffalo Bills? They just ran all over us, but are they a really good contender at 5-2, or um, did they just run up against the Panthers, who created a 4 turnover dud for the day? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This episode is brought to you by London and the Googly Goo, which is my wife's children's book. If you got nieces, nephews, or children of your own, be sure to check out London and the Googly Goo, available on Amazon. All right, so in other sporting news, Brian Kelly of LSU gets fired as the football coach. And the school's going to lose $54 million firing this coach, right? So I didn't really bring up a bunch of stats here. I really brought up this story to say this, right? There's a big running joke out there that you basically should just go get a big head coaching job, after doing really good at JUCO, go get a big head coaching job with a big old, firing bonus, basically what I would call it, where you get paid out a crap ton of money if they fire you early out of your contract, and then just run the school's program into the ground, right? Because my man's about to get $54 million for getting fired, right? So, um, pretty crazy to think about. Uh, Honestly, I don't really remember exactly what LSU's record is, but we can search real quick and look. But I think it's like 4-4, something like that. Let's see, 5-3. Yeah, so they're 5-3. Like, obviously in the bowl era here, or the playoff era, 5-3 is not going to cut it. But you play in the SEC. Like, the SEC has like 5 of the top 10 teams in it, right? And this year you just happen to not be one of those 5 in the top 10, right? So if you play against 5, that's going to be 5 losses, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I really think it's unfair to Brian Kelly here to fire him, but it's like, who are you going to get to replace him at LSU? I don't know, but basically they're giving him $54 million to go away. So let me know what you think about the Brian Kelly firing in the comments down below. All right, moving on to live coaching today. So when you're talking about finances, there's 2 sides to the coin, right? There's 2 sides to the coin. People talk about whether you should use credit or not use credit, right? So credit cards in particularly are very dangerous, right? And they're dangerous because you cannot go bankrupt on them, and they mess up your personal credit, right? So the question becomes, is it ever smart to use credit cards for points or cash back or whatever? And so I'll just tell you the way that we do it. So we use a cashback credit card for everything. If we can, we would pay. If we can, we pay our mortgage with the credit card. And the reason is because with that cash back, and you paying the credit card every month on time, and having a threshold budget, so you never go over that budget. To me, it makes it easier to keep up with. The credit card gives me added protection against theft, right? So if for some reason someone gets a hold of the credit card number and starts using it somewhere, the credit card company has fraud protection and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if it was your debit card, your whole bank account would get locked down, right? And so with the credit card, you still have access to your debit card. You still have access to other credit cards, hopefully. And so I'll just give you an example of what happened for me with InstaSale. Let's say I was advertising on Facebook with InstaSale, and of course, uh, InstaSale gets hacked on Facebook, and all of a sudden the people are running up $6,000, $7,000 uh, bills to sell lingerie, obviously that aren't being sold. Um, and so they're actually getting people to purchase the lingerie. But basically, the InstaSale got hacked, right? And I just recently got InstaSale back, right? Got my account back. I literally had to start a new account. But if that had been on a debit card, uh, that would have shut my whole bank account. I would say we were in Charlotte at the time, and we would have had no way to get home if it wasn't a credit card that got hacked, right? If it was the debit card that got hacked, our entire bank account would have been shut down, you know, stuff like that. And the credit card company gave me all the money back, right? Now, what was a little trippy about the credit card is that, whoever hacked it was an Asian person, right? And when I go to call to say, give me my money back, an Asian person is who picked up. Now, that was a little bit freaky to me, but that's just who worked at Citibank, I guess. And, you know, so that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But because, they're asking these personal questions like, okay, well, maybe you're just hacking me more. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the reason that we use credit cards, right? We use it for the cash back. So if you can buy everything on credit card, make 200 or 300 bucks a month, it's no brainer. That's a extra paycheck a month for most people to get 200 or 300 bucks. You use your threshold budget. Threshold budget is where you reach a threshold and you stop spending money. So obviously, you want your threshold to be as high as you can, but because you're already automatically taking out your investments and investing, right? So that's the way you get financially ahead is you automatically invest your money and then you have a threshold. So whatever you spend on the rest, you don't care because as long as you don't hit the threshold, you're good to go. And so that's the way I do a budget. That way you don't have to worry about if you're swiping the credit card. As long as the credit card's under that threshold budget, you're good to go, right? And you make an extra 200 or 300 bucks a month. You know, extra paycheck a month. And so you end up with, what's that? 12, 12 extra paychecks. And that's pretty good, right? And the cashback stuff is tax free, so which is pretty cool as well. So let me know what you think about using credit cards in the comments below. Obviously, there are people out there that have a huge spending problem, shopping problem. And obviously, if you're one of those people, then you probably shouldn't use credit cards or debit cards. You should be cash only. But in this day and age, it's very difficult to be cash only. Um, I personally don't even like having cash on me. But, uh, keep that in mind. Let me know what you think about credit cards in the comments below. All right. So, we're moving on to the last thing of the day, which is the quote of the day. And it says, every person you admire once stood where you were standing, terrified but tired of their own excuses. Every person you admire once stood where you're standing, terrified but tired of their own excuses. Right. So basically, this quote is saying that most people that have made it in life didn't start out that way. Right. There's like, I don't remember what the exact number is, but it's between 10 and 20% that are what's called nepotism babies, or um, babies or people that inherited their money, right? They inherited their wealth. And so if you're a person that wants to be wealthy, that wants to succeed in life, you're basically following the 80%, the other 80% that did not inherit stuff, right? And there is a way to do that. And the first thing is to stop having an excuse. I can't do this. I can't do that. The way you fix excuses is to change your mindset. You change your mindset by using affirmations. If you don't have affirmations, you can pick mine up for free in the description below. But it's that one single decision in your head, like, I don't have any excuses anymore. Like, this is what it's going to be. This is what we're going after. I'm going to do everything in my power to do it, right? Be able to sacrifice, to do whatever it takes to make it in this world, right? Because there are people above you that you admire, right? So if you admire the guy from Nike, if you admire you know, if you admire Michael Jordan, or if there's plenty of other ones, right? Musician wise, if you, I'll give the example of a Parmalee, right? Parmalee was on tour till they were older, right? They played at Pantana Bob's every Thursday night back in the day, and they finally made it in the country music scene, right? Obviously, when are mostly a rock band, but and even in concert, they sound more like a rock band than country. But just an example like Parmalee, they went forever. It seemed like until they made it, but it was just that decision. They didn't make any excuses. They kept going, like as an example. So um, let me know what excuses you're making today that's getting in your way, right? Um, I say, what excuses do you make, right? And make a single decision today to stop making that excuse and go for what you want. I'm Nate, and I'm a life coach. If you need help doing that, hit me up in the DMs for life coaching, or sign up for life coaching in the description below. Shop at IsraSale.com, pick up a cool inspirational t-shirt today, and buy my wife's book, London and the Googly Goo. Like this video, comment down below, share the video with somebody that needs it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next piece.